Hey guys, welcome to this episode of SideQuest, and yet again I'm going down memory lane to talk about one of my favorite games of all time, one that I am extremely nostalgic for, and one that I have poured countless hours into, and that is none other than WWF Smackdown 2 for the PlayStation 1. Now, if you don't know, Smackdown 2 is arguably one of the best wrestling games of all time. It rivals the Aki Engine games like No Mercy. It has a fantastic roster, it has a great creator-wrestler mode, although not quite as in-depth as the Aki Engine games, but still in-depth enough. And what it really has going for it is match variety. So this is one of the few games that has the casket match or like an I Quit match. And there's like TLCs, and there's the Hell in the Cell, so it's got its one-ups on No Mercy. But anyways, I definitely want to talk about some memories I have with this game. But first, let's kind of start off with how I got my PlayStation 1. Now, I've briefly mentioned this in my Gaming Origins episode, and I got my PlayStation 1 when my next-door neighbor bought a PlayStation 2, and with its backwards compatibility, he didn't need the PS1 anymore, so he handed it down to me, with I think like a sports game and a NASCAR game. So I didn't play the PS1 for very long, because you can only play so much NASCAR before your brain falls out of your ear. But that would change a couple years later when a friend of mine would bring me a couple of games. He was like, "Hey, Drew, I was cleaning out my room and I found a couple of PlayStation games. Do you want them?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take them." And that day I got WCW Nitro. Terrible game, but I love it. That's a story for another day though. I also got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, and of course, SmackDown 2. And I can vaguely remember us putting in SmackDown 2 first and just having a blast that afternoon. And it was kind of a turning point for us as wrestling fans. So me and my friends group, we were wrestling fans. We grew up in the Attitude Era, loved it. But this was us right on the cusp of seriously getting into wrestling and going back and learning about ECW and absolutely falling in love with it, and even getting into WCW and early TNA. And of course we were watching modern wrestling at the time. This is about 05, 06. But a typical afternoon during these times was us in the basement playing SmackDown 2, or I can't believe we used to do this, but we used to wrestle pillows, like body pillows. And for a good couple of years in my parents' basement, we had a setup called the Ring. So it was basically like a memory foam mattress topper with a couple of couch cushions on it, 4 chairs on each corner, and some wiring or some cables around stuck in between the chairs to simulate a wrestling ring. And we would wrestle pillows and jump around and flip off stuff. It was ridiculous. We were dumb kids, but it was so much fun, and we have a lot of fond memories of that. So if we weren't playing SmackDown 2, we were wrestling pillows. If we weren't wrestling pillows, we were outside skateboarding. And then if we weren't outside skateboarding, we were back inside playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, SmackDown 2, or wrestling pillows, or playing with wrestling figures. It was great. One big thing is that we did not have a memory card for the PlayStation. So I can remember us spending countless hours, or countless afternoons, creating wrestlers like Sabu or RVD, only to be able to play them for a little while, but come the end of the night when I had to turn off that system, they were all gone. Same thing with season mode. We'd play season mode to unlock characters like Shawn Michaels or Stone Cold Steve Austin, but say I had to turn off the PlayStation before dinner or something like that, all that progress was out the door. Another thing that I'm really nostalgic about is, especially with this game, is kind of the mysticism and the rumors and the tips that you could find online. So this, like I said, it was kind of 05, 06, still kind of the formidable years of the internet. And I can remember spending countless hours in front of the computer on like cheat websites. And there was one in particular that I can't remember the name of. It doesn't exist anymore. But it had everything. It had your cheats, your tips, your tricks, your unlockables, and like your glitches. And I can remember learning things like, if you and your opponent climbed the steel cage and got to the top at the very same time, you could press triangle to run into each other and fall off the cage, and nobody would get eliminated, and you could fight outside the ring, and then go back into the ring and finish up the fight the correct way. Or learning that if you put enough time into season mode, you could unlock the TLC match, and you could unlock a new arena where there were extra backstage areas that you weren't able to access before. And around the same time, YouTube was just kind of coming about, and people would upload videos of SmackDown 2 on YouTube, and they would upload videos of like mods and stuff for this game. And I guess with my friends and I being so young and naive, we didn't understand what mods were. We thought this was stuff that was in the game. So stuff like scaffolding matches or being able to stack tables. Oh my goodness, how desperately we wanted to be able to stack tables like an ECW in this game, or even set tables on fire. We desperately wanted this stuff to be in there. And there was a mod where you could correctly throw somebody off the top of the Hell in a Cell through the announce table, like just like in the Mankind vs. Undertaker match. And we would watch these videos and then be like, oh my god, we gotta go play the game, we gotta go figure out how to do this. And we would go and we would spend hours in front of the TV trying to get this stuff to work and eventually give up because it just wouldn't. But we'd always find ourselves back at it again in the next couple of days trying to do the same things. Oh my god, we're gonna be able to stack the table. It's gonna work this time. We swear it's gonna work. Oh, I'm gonna throw him off the Hell in a Cell through the table, man. We just gotta press the right buttons. And it just never worked. But all of these rumors and stuff kind of inadvertently milked more time out of the game for us. So it was kind of helpful. But yeah, I'm very nostalgic for those early years of the internet with the mysticism of what was and wasn't in games, what was fact and what was fiction. It's definitely very nostalgic. Alright, and then the last memory I have to talk about is actually one that's kind of important. And it was the very last time I got to play my original copy of SmackDown 2 and on my original PlayStation 1. So, I want to say a couple years had gone by, and my friends and I, well, we were still into wrestling. We were definitely more into skateboarding at this point. And a friend of mine had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 and an original Xbox, and I wanted it so bad. My god, did I want to have Pro Skater 4 so bad. So, I traded him one of my skateboards, my PlayStation 1, with all of my games, including SmackDown 2. So about, let's say, I want to say it was like a month after this trade had happened, I go over to my friend's house, and his little brother is sitting by the TV playing SmackDown 2, and he says, "Hey Drew, you want to play some SmackDown 2? I bet I can kick your ass." And my response was something along the lines of, "Yeah, I'd like to see you try." So I picked up the sticks, and I can remember he picked Triple H, and I picked Rikishi. And because he had taunted me, I was ready. And I was on my game that day. I was getting all of my moves out before he could get his. I was countering whatever moves he would try to get out on me. I wasn't letting him control any facet of this match. I was just kicking his butt. And shortly after that, I got him into the corner, I gave him the stink face, and pinned him 1, 2, 3 for the win. And I can vividly remember saying this. This is so stupid. I remember going, "Oh, nice try, but know your role. I'm still the king of SmackDown 2. And his little brother got so mad at me. He got like mad crying at me, and just and then me and his brother were just kind of like, okay, and just kind of left to go hang out. But that's a funny memory I have of SmackDown 2. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap up this episode on my memories with SmackDown 2. If you're craving more wrestling content from myself, go check out my review of Konami's forgotten wrestling game, GKO Power Pro Wrestling. I actually have it back here on the shelf somewhere. Go check out that review, and on top of that, check out my other reviews and my other side quest episodes. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bet I can kick your butt. Oh, the fucking phone is going off. Son of a bitch. Give it a second. Oh my god. The fucking phone.